Okay, hi. Okay, I want to get through this. I don't want to do a whole intro thing. Basically, I just want to teach people how to make these kinds of transitions, null transitions. I struggled with how to learn them because no one showed me, and I had to literally figure out trial and error how to make them. I was at it for months trying to figure out how to make that kind of transition, and I never figured it out until very recently. So I wanted to show other people how to do it so that they didn't have to sit there and go through that same kind of process that I had to go through of trial and error and like months, when I could just show you and then you can edit the way that you want to edit instead of having to edit how you have to edit because you don't have the resources to know more and do more. Okay, so first thing you want to do is make sure your clips are ready to be used. You want to add motion tile to each clip. As you can see, motion tile is on both of my clips. And then make sure they're pre-composed. And in the pre-composed clip, make sure they have either Twixtor, time remap, whatever you use, if you want to use that. I would highly recommend it just so that the clip looks smoother and there's not a lot of movement, because that could affect kind of how the way it looks. It just depends on what you want your clip to look like. So I already did all that. I did that before I started the video. And then now to the actual transition part. So first thing you want to do is obviously add a null. I'm going to cut it off here because I don't need all that. This is what you're going to be working with at first. First things first, turn on motion blur for all of it because you're going to need it. It's going to look choppy if you don't have it on. Then open up the transform, or just press A. Do 52, 52 so that your anchor point is centered. Highlight your clips and whip it to the null. Then you're going to do your transition. The way you can I'm going to show you guys how I do it. There's different ways to kind of do it, but the way that I've done it is it seems to be the most smoothest, I guess you could say, way to do it, because you can do this in different ways. It just depends on the transition that you're doing. Sometimes you have to have the second clip all the way highlighted, or you can just have it like that. This works for most null transitions. The only ones that you would need to have it for like the clips have to be the same amount of time, like that, is when you're doing something like a slide, which is something else completely different to what I'm doing right now. So the transitions, they start here, right here, right here. Do not start them over here because in most editing audios, there is not enough time to move a clip from point A to point B. You need to start point A over here and then point B down here. So first thing you're going to do, highlight, because this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a corner null. That's what I call it. Position, keyframe, scale, keyframe. Press U so you can see all of your highlighted keyframes. Press O to go to the end. Leave it there. So first thing you're going to do, your motion tile is on, make sure it's mirror edges, turn it off, just for now. And then scale it down. I usually do between 55 and 65. I'll do 60 right now. And then press P, move it to whichever side you want to go to. You can either up, down, left, right, whatever. Put keyframes at the end. And what you're going to do is line it up. You see this blue highlight? This is where your initial clip is. Sorry. All of these other things are just the edges, the mirror edges. So you're going to line it up to that blue highlighted rectangle. I was going to say square. That's not a square. Then you have it like that. Highlight your keyframes. F9 to easy ease. So this is what it's going to look like without any effect. not affect, any fixing of the graphs. So of course, turn back on your mirror edges. Then go into the graphs and basically just make the graphs however you want to make them. It really depends on you. You can play with them, adjust them, whatever you want to do. I do different graphs for this kind of stuff all the time. I never have a specific kind of graph I do for these. Also, how to separate X and Y. Press this button down here. I don't have a specific kind of graph to do because it just really depends on the kind of transition that you're trying to make. But it's just simple to make a very regular graph like this. It's literally just, that's all you have to do. What is also important is that you make sure that your graphs are the same. If they're not the same, they will be choppy. And you'll see what that looks like. Oh, no, you won't. I guess I did it right. Let me see if I can get it to do it so I can kind of explain what I mean. That right there. You see, you obviously don't want it to dip like that. You're not looking for it to dip. You want it to go straight to where you want it to go. I mean, you might want it to dip. I don't know. You do you, but for the general idea, you want it to look like that. The graphs have to look the same so that doesn't happen. Okay. Now you go to the second clip, click T, put your first opacity keyframe at 0, put your second one at 100. And then look at that. You have a null transition. You can move this keyframe a little bit more if you want it to fade in faster. Just depends on how you want to do it. I've done this before. Sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I just leave it at the end. Really just depends on how you want to do it. And then go to, put all of this in one composition, by the way, so that you can do like other transitions in there without affecting anything that's happening over here, which is basically what I did over here. So then I did a zoom in, and then it does that. Look at that. That's art right there. That's basically it. That's literally what I do with basically every transition. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. I mean, add some borders, coloring, and you got yourself bona fide null transition. There are different kinds you can do. If you want me to show you how to do different kinds, I can do that. I don't mind. This was a bit of a mess, but it was just a quick tutorial. I'm not trying to do some fucking professional grade YouTube video. Like, this is not what this is. That's not what this is. I'm just trying to explain how to do just a simple null transition. You can do this with anything. The only thing that will really change what your transition looks like is how you position this second clip because of how you want it to move. Because if I put it, let's say, on the other side, then it's obviously going to move. You obviously want your clip. Let me turn this on. You're going to want it to go wherever this highlighted text is. Highlighted rectangle. Obviously, yours might be a different color because I adjusted the way that mine is. It's probably going to be like that sandy color. Ugh, I hated that. I'm so glad I changed it. You could do it like this. Now, you have, the graph kind of stays the same. Look at that. Oh, yes. Listen. Okay, wait. I have to adjust this too. You have to adjust this so that it fits correctly. Oh, there it goes. I was wondering why the thing looks so weird. There you go. See, it just really depends on what you're doing. That's what matters. That's all that matters. What kind of transition do you want to do? Once you figure that out, move the second clip to where you want it to be. Where do you want the clip to go? Once you figure that out, then you do the whole null process, which is literally just keyframe, graph, and you're done. Well, no, keyframe, graph, pre-comp, and then do your other transitions and you're done. See? Look at that. And then I can go over here, see what it would look like. Oh, I actually kind of like this one better than the other one. But yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, just make sure you turn on motion blur, because if you have motion blur off, let me show you what it'll look like. It's very, very choppy. Just give it a second. You see, it's not as smooth. It's not as satisfying. Wait, why does that actually not look that bad? Listen, turn it on anyways. Trust me, turn it on anyways. It's not supposed to look good. It will look bad if you don't put it on other kinds of transitions, apparently. I don't know why that looks kind of good. But anyways, that was it. That's the whole tutorial. This was a mess. I'm not good at doing anything that doesn't involve a script. This was very completely off the top of my head. A mess. I hope you guys, or the 3 people that watch this, probably enjoy. That's all I have to say. Bye.